Today on the Brett Allen Show, as we inch towards the holidays, we're talking about one of my most favorite series, Percy Jackson. Oh my God. And I loved the movies. And when I found out Disney Plus was taking the mantle and doing Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I lost my mind. It's a series out now on Disney Plus. We're talking to one of the stars, Dior Goodjohn. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me on, man. Thank you.
Yes, well, you have had quite a career. You've just done so many great projects. Are You Afraid of the Dark, Glee, and now this? How does it feel? This is huge because this series is probably, in my opinion, better than many others. I won't throw anybody under the bus, but I just love the Percy Jackson books and the series.
It is surreal. It's an absolute dream come true. It's just an awesome marker, and I'm really grateful to be a part of this project. Yeah.
So now this is big because it is a series. So we get a little bit more story, a little bit more continuation, I guess, of the series because there are multiple books. So how did you get involved with the project? Was it just an audition offer? Did you see a ad on a casting website? Like, where did you get involved at?
So, the crazy story, I was in LA because I had just finished filming Are You Afraid of the Dark? And so I came out to LA to come handle my things before I'm half Persian. So my mom, when COVID happened, decided that she wanted to move back to Iran. So I was in LA trying to organize my stuff to get ready to go back to Iran again. And I got an audition in my inbox for Percy Jackson and the Olympians. And it was crazy because while in the Dominican Republic, one of my friends was doing an audition for Percy and I was reading lines with them and I was like, this would be really cool to do, but like it's Greek mythology, so maybe I'm not like the spec. And so when I got this audition, I was like, me? Really? So I did my first audition, then ended up going to Iran and I did my callback from Iran. And from then it was history. It was amazing. Yeah.
So you got the part, so that had to be huge, and the cast is just stacked to the gills. So
Oh my
what
God.
was
Yeah.
your experience like filming this? Because again, it's such an iconic series. I say the movies, I loved the films, and they just stopped making them for whatever reason, whether the kids aged out, I don't know, that just happens with this kind of thing. But this whole series has just really brought new life to the story.
Yeah, no, it's an absolute. I think the fact that we got a series form rather than feature form makes such a big difference because we have more time and room to touch on all the little details that I know the fans were pining for and wanted. It's so amazing. And again, the features were amazing as a standalone project, but it's so near and dear to the hearts of all. And the book accuracy on it is just top tier.
It really is. Yes. Oftentimes when you have read the books before something like this comes out, you often find yourself comparing. It's been a while since I read the books, but when I started seeing clips and all of these things, trailers, I was like, man, this is going to be really good. And it is shot like a feature film. So cheers to you all being able to get a series out of this. And let's talk about your character and how they fit into the storyline because it's really fun and special. And you just do a fantastic job, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's talk about like your character. And I don't want to give away spoilers, but what can people expect?
So, what I will say, Clarice is that girl. She's a tough cookie and not one to be messed with. If you know, you know. She's head honcho of Aries Cabin, and her story is kind of when Percy comes to camp. At least the way that my internal monologue was working was like, who is this little kid that's coming here and thinking that he can take all my street cred? This is not what's happening. Like, this is not what we're doing here. So I, try to put him in his place a little bit.
Yeah, you certainly do. And it makes for just a fun story. And just, I mean, it's so good. I've introduced my 9-year-old to these movies and he likes the films, but this is really good. And it's just standalone in itself. So people watching and listening just know that this is part of that entire lore, but it's told in a different way. It's just very magical and spectacular and so good for Christmas, for the holidays. I think it's just amazing. And it releases today or released today on Disney Plus. So let's talk about your career because you have done other things. Now, I was going through your filmography. Is Glee where you got started, or had you done other things prior to that?
I had done little things like commercials here and there. I did a lot of print, but Glee was my first like television debut. Yeah.
And it's just taken off since. So now that you're in this massive series, what do friends and family have to say? Are they excited for you? Do they have notes? Like, what's the vibe been?
The vibe has just been a lot of proud family members because um I don't know, I don't want to toot my own horn. But I've been putting in a lot of work since I was very, very, very young, and all my family members saw it. It's like I would miss out on family functions and stuff like that because I'd be like, "No, guys, I have an audition. I need to do this." Da, 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 da. And so I think they're just excited to see it pay off and see the fruits of the labor. So just a lot of proud family members is what I will say.
And it's okay to toot your horn a little bit. This is a big deal. I mean, this is like Disney Plus. This is Disney, and now you're part of this family, and the possibilities are unlimited as far as what happens with this and your career. I mean, you've done good work, so it's okay to be proud. And I think, I mean, that's why you have managers and publicists because you've earned it and you've worked hard. And this is clearly a testimony of that. Well, one last question or two here. Just looking at the things that you've done, what is the one thing that you have learned so far? Maybe it's on this project or other things that you've done that really has helped you as an actor and storyteller that you will take with you on to the next project, whether it's a continuation of this or other things.
One thing that I've learned is my philosophy is kind of like you put in the work, you do the
Yeah.
homework and you put in all the work so that you can forget it when you get to set. So everything is in real time and natural and true. And the biggest thing um, is to have unwavering faith in your ability. Because I noticed my best work came out when I put 100% of my trust in autopilot. I was like, okay, time to go. Just do your thing. And when I wasn't thinking and just doing, that's when the best work came out.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine it can be nerve wracking, especially on a project of this size. You know, the pressures there to learn lines, to learn blocking. I mean, you're working with some of the biggest names in the business.
Tell me about
Yeah.
it. Woo!
Yeah. So had you read the books or you'd said you'd seen the features, but had you read the books prior or were you just
So,
kind of going in, like I want to learn as I go?
so this is what the story is. So my two older cousins were about 12, 13 when the books originally came out. And they're my older cousins. Like I was obsessed with everything that they were doing and all of that. And so I was hyper aware of the series, but I wasn't a big reader when I was younger. So it wasn't until I got the audition that I started doing my research and started reading the books. And I ended up falling in love with the series while my auditioning process was happening. Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations. Dior, you're such a delight. And I love this is great. I can't wait for my kid to watch this. Again, it's Percy Jackson and the Olympians now streaming on Disney Plus. Check it out. And if you haven't read the books, I recommend it. Watch the movies. And again, this is just for the holidays. It's the Harry Potter for our generation, the Lord of the Rings for this generation. It's just that good, if not better. Dior, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me on, Brett.
Absolutely. And congratulations.